everyone, welcome back to Dreamers Corner. My name is Liz Munge and today I have two special guests. And I will start introducing from my far right.
Hi everyone, my name is Lulu Munge.
Hi, I'm mercy.vella.
And Lulu, you've seen her a number of times on this platform. We have done a couple of videos together already. And Mercy, she's our guest for today. And she is a corporate finance specialist at Faida Investment Bank, and she's also a finance consultant at the Trading Room Kenya. So if you haven't guessed already, our topic is going to be about investments. And thank you so much for watching our video, and for those who have subscribed already. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe right now before we go deeper into our topic of the day.
So in the previous video we said you're going to be talking about money, and it's going to be a series where we dive deeper into different topics regarding money. And today we're going to be talking about investing, and so we have Mercy here who's going to give us more insight and more information when it comes to investing. And I will dive right into it. And the first question for her is, what does investing mean?
I think the first thing when it comes to money is you earning the money. So we all have different income generating streams. It could be through employment, it could be through you being self-employed, you have your own business, and also in the Kenyan culture you might be having a side hustle that's giving you a consistent or maybe periodically just bringing in some income. So the first thing after you've earned an income is you budget for that income. So if you have responsibilities, if you have bills, your money goes to paying for those bills and also just to cater to those responsibilities. So after budgeting, the next step is maybe for you to save some money aside. And once you've learned how to earn money, how to budget that money and how to save it, then the next natural step should be you learning how to invest it. So I usually say investing is putting that extra amount of money that you have to a vehicle that will give you a return. Now this return could as well be periodically, it could as well be giving you a return every week, every month, or after a stipulated amount of time, depending on the product that you've chosen to invest in. So the other thing to consider about investing is there are two major ways of you making money. You can either have your active way of making money, and you can have a passive way of making money. So investment, for the most part, is usually considered as a passive way to make money, because you're really not exacting yourself. It's more or less a question of your money working for you. So after maybe through your job, you can decide whatever income that has come in, this is a portion that you're setting apart to start your investment journey. So basically investing is you putting your money aside and that money giving you a return, and for the most part you should be able to redeem the principal amount that you set apart when you're starting the investment.
Okay, that's good. The other question would be, what is the difference between saving and investing? Because I know so many people think that once they have saved, they have sort of invested. But that's not always, that is actually not the case. Saving is different from investing. So what is the difference? Where do we draw the line?
Okay. So saving essentially is, so one thing I'd say is this, saving and investing is usually mostly the free money that you have. So maybe that's where people are not really sure where to draw the line, because this is more or less quote unquote free cash in your budget, so to speak. So when you save money, essentially what you're doing is putting it aside, not really earning a return from it. But when you're investing, the main aim is you earning a return on that money. Case in point, I'm setting aside 100 shillings every week for 1 year. So in 1 year you have 52 weeks and you've been setting aside 100 shillings. So at the end of the year, when you're checking your cash balance, it will read 5,200 if you are saving. Maybe it's through you putting money under your mattress, or you have a home bank, or you have a piggy bank, or as most of us like to say, we are in chamas, where
Yeah.
essentially it's just a merry-go-round. There's really no investment goal that the chama is propelling. So what happens is we are 3 of us. This is a chama. You're giving 2,000 week 1. I'm also giving 2,000. And at the end of the week, we are giving you the whole amount. So essentially, it's like you're getting 6,000 Kenya shillings. But if I choose to diligently put aside 2,000 for the same 3 weeks, I'll still end up with the 6,000 Kenya shillings that you'd have received at the end of the week. So I usually say there's a very big difference between you setting aside money and you actually taking money and putting it into a vehicle where you're earning a return. So I'd say saving and investing. Saving, there's really no return coming in, and investing, you can actually see where the return is coming in. Though this is also debatable because different investment products do not guarantee a return. So there's really a fine print to it, but yeah, investments usually have returns. Savings, on the other hand, it's just you taking money and setting it aside.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So the next thing after now you know what the difference between saving and investing is where do I begin with this investing thing? Because so many people don't know even where to begin. And just the thought of thinking about it, they actually just give up on it.
So considering that we're living in a very digital era, most of the time when you have a question, the first stop is the internet. You Google, you literally type it out as it is in your head. So you start by, how do I invest? Or where do I invest? And of course the search engine will give you so many responses, and for you to take the time to open each and every website that pops up and to actually check each and every ad, because nowadays I think you get to see the ads first before you actually see the search results. You can get very bombarded because one, is this information really tailor-made? Not exactly. Are the answers maybe even country specific? Not exactly. So there's a lot of garbage, quote unquote, that will come to you first before you're actually able to sift your way through and see that this is essentially what I want. So I'd say most people, what they do, they'll search on the internet. You'll get a lot of information, which is not bad because information really is power. But then again, when you're not able to digest and understand that information, then it really beats its purpose. So the other thing that most people will do is consulting with your close relatives, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your chama, if you have a chama, whatever social group you're in. That's almost always the next step, without really considering that one, your interests and your goals might be very different. But what I usually say, all these are external factors to a problem that is mainly internal, so to speak. The first thing that you're supposed to do is just do a self-assessment within yourself. Just ask yourself, like Mercy, so you want to start investing. Are you a risk-averse person or are you a risk taker? Because that also will form more or less, the foundation as to the products that you'll be keen on looking into. Because if I'm a risk-averse person and someone recommends a product where the risk is quite high, then of course that's a mismatch, and I'm allowed to say that product is not for me. And if I say that maybe I just want to invest for a very short period of time, maybe 3 to 6 months, and after 6 months I'll need my money back, and you're trying to make me invest in a product whose maturity is after 365 days, which is 1 year, then essentially that is not where I'm supposed to be. So it's also very important for you to understand, do you want to invest long term or short term? So I'd say just sit down, ask yourself, what is your goal? And please let us set some very realistic goals, because I've also had people who come and invest and start asking, or just random questions. I want to invest 10,000 and in the next 4 weeks I want it to be 60,000.
Where can we get that?
Exactly. Where and when you're not giving them a direct answer, it's like they become very agitated. Exactly. That you're not trying to help them, that you do not believe in them. So it's extremely important to set very realistic goals.
Yeah.
Also, just know what's your risk appetite. Be very honest. You know within yourself who you are as a person.
The next question would be, I know there are so many reasons, stroke motivations that get people to invest different investments.
Yeah.
So what are some of those
The
motivations that people have to get into such investments?
Okay. So broadly put, I usually say there are 3 motivating factors as to why you'd want to invest. A lifestyle. You want to invest into a product that will help you maintain your lifestyle, that will help you earn a return, that at least can maybe tick some things off your budget. This could be fees or, well, I don't want to say rent, but depending on whatever the product is, if it's giving you an extremely high return, you can even go out on holiday out of the country. So one is just to maintain your lifestyle, or help you in just trying to maintain your lifestyle. The other thing would be for security purposes. So let's say I want to start my master's after 5 years from now. I want to start my master's, and I have 600,000 that is just idly sitting in my bank account. So what do I decide? I can invest in whether debt instrument, whatever it is, whose maturity could be that 5 years or 4 years, and I'm assured that my capital is preserved. I do not want to come back after 4 or 5 years when I want my money back, and my portfolio, which in the beginning read 500,000, is now currently at 20,000. Because you're going to explain to me where you took my money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money, please. So it's very important for if you're looking into security, especially preserving your capital, and you don't want to lose even a single coin, then that is also a motivating factor as to what product you're eventually going to choose. Then lastly, I usually say aspiration. And aspiration can be divided into 2 products. You have your highly refined, so to speak, commodities, precious stones, could be oil, it could be gold. These are usually products that are not very accessible to most people, so to speak. And then an aspirational way of investing could be starting your own business. Because even what we don't understand is, even a successfully run business is an investment. Because you're actually putting in the human capital, the money, your time to build up the business. And I think both of you can attest to the fact that running a successful business in the tour industry is very satisfying. Running Gold Crest Safaris, you have put a lot of time, you have put a lot of effort, you have done your research, you have put a lot of money to ensure that all the tourists who come in or use your tour company are given the best there is in the industry. And it's good to note that looking at how the current state of the country is, let's say you had started a logistics and delivery company, like in your case with Moshe Couriers. I don't want to say that you're making a kill, but right now, where people movement is limited, not a lot of people are allowed to go out shopping. You made the right investment, because right now you can actually see there's demand for your product. So what people don't consider is running a business is also a very aspirational way of you choosing to invest. And I think we all just need to see where exactly do we fit into those factors. Do we want security? Do we want a lifestyle? Is it one of those aspirations that we've always held and we are trying to live it out?
Now that we know all that information, so where can we invest this money? What are the different products for investing our money?
So we are lucky enough that in Kenya, our capital market is quite vibrant as compared to other countries in the East African region. So if you're interested in stocks, interested in bonds and other fixed income securities, you actually have the opportunity to invest in these products. Another product that you can invest in is money market funds. Another one is cryptocurrency, because that is also an option that is available here. You can also invest in forex, though I know there's a regulation tied to that. You can also invest in derivative products, and the classic example that most Kenyans aim for is invest in land. You buy land, develop it.
To have a piece of land, even if it's just 50
I
by
think
50.
people, when someone says I want to invest, the first thing that comes in mind
Exactly.
is land.
It's like
property.
exactly. It's almost like, how successful are you? I have a plot somewhere, but we never really think about these other options. And maybe I don't know. Can you really blame it to the industry players not talking about it, or
I think so, because
lack
the information
of interest?
is not out there.
And the people who are actually doing it, they're not giving out the information. And if there is, you really have to research. You know, it's not just on your face.
And that is very limiting to so many people. It's not that we can't invest, even as young people. It's only that the options are not given, or they're not readily not available, but they're not put out there by the key players in this industry. So I feel like people will just wait until they can save up and have enough money to invest in, say, land. But really, they could have started with 50,000 shillings or 20,000 shillings or 100 or as small as they can.
So I'd say, in as much as yes, maybe we really need to understand or share the information, because I think such a platform is actually good to as a way of relaying information to everyone who's watching this. And at the same time, I also feel like you as a person, just get on that personal growth and development journey, because if you're really keen on growth and development, then this is information that you'll easily get, so to speak. Curiosity also helps a bit. So that's what I'd say.
I also have another question. So, you know, we have viewers who are even 20 years, 18, and even 65. So what is the minimum amount of money that someone can save, can invest?
Because like starting off?
Starting off. Because most people, when you hear investment, just think in millions. And as a college student, I mean, who has millions unless you deal in some...
Wow, we shall not say those things here.
How can someone start out?
Again, it all boils down to what product is it? Because we've mentioned stocks, we've mentioned bonds, we've mentioned treasury bills, we've mentioned money market funds. You have your forex, could be commodities. You could be trading, well, I don't want to say land at this point in time, but investing in land even. Whatever the product is, I feel like it's not one size fits all. Because for something like stocks, we don't really work with a minimum amount of money. Because different listed companies have different share prices. You will get a company going as high as 150 shillings per share. You will get a company that is going as low as 5 shillings per share. So you see, I cannot come and tell you maybe your interest, or after a consultation with you and I, we say that this is where I want to put my money, and the share price for that particular stock is 5 shillings. So for stocks, the minimum amount would be a minimum of 100 shares. For something like money market funds, I know different funds have different minimum amounts. Let me use the ones I know. Sanlam has a minimum amount of 2,500 as a starting point. And you have another fund, the Alpha Africa Money Market Fund. Their minimum is 5,000 Kenya shillings. So I'd say just because if I give you a very ballpark figure, you might find the investments where you need 100,000.
Yeah.
For some debt instruments, you actually need maybe a minimum of 1 million Kenya shillings for you just to invest in that product. So it really depends with the product that you're looking into getting in. I'd say don't be afraid. I think the first step, when you've actually realized that I'd like to give it a shot, and you've done your self-assessment, just reach out. I'm sure there's someone out there who'll be willing to help you figure things out, and you can always start, because it's actually a good question if you're trying to start when you're young, because you can always slowly stack up as you go. You just slowly just build up. If you're 65 and you get your retirement money, you can as well invest the whole amount. So maybe it could be a substantial figure you're getting. I don't know. I'd say just talk to someone. Once you get a product fit, then now start working your way around what the minimum amount to invest in that product fit would be.
I also think that you can actually save towards a certain amount.
Exactly.
If you want to start, you need 100,000 to invest in something. You can just start slowly.
Exactly.
Don't wait until that time you get that 100,000
exactly.
So you just start with whatever amount you have towards your main goal. So it's okay to start. The main thing is to just start with whatever you have.
And all the young people, it's better when you start young, because with time you learn the mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, you learn so many things along the way, and it's easier when you start as early as possible.
And when you grow older, responsibilities become more and more.
So even your money is really budgeted, and you because when you're young you don't have so many responsibilities. When you get older, of course,
responsibilities become
increase
more. That will bring me to our last question, which is about financing, because we know, well, as we have said, sometimes we feel like we can't afford to invest, but really it's not about just starting with big money. You can start from whatever it is that you want. So what are the different ways that we can use to finance the investments that we want to invest in?
Okay. Budgeting, every month, every week, every day, however often you do your budgeting, you can actually set aside a small amount of money and say, this proportion will go into my investing needs. So that would be one way. Then whatever savings you have, if you've put it in a fixed deposit, if you've been putting it in a piggy bank, if it's a chama, you've just been holding your money and all that, whatever avenue that you've been using to save, you can actually use those savings to invest. And I think I just need to really emphasize this. Have your emergency fund, have your savings, and then have your
investment.
Have the money that is going to
because they all serve a different purpose.
Exactly. You don't want your emergency fund to be a savings slash the money that you've invested and whatnot. So just have all those elements in different in a very different account, so to speak. Then the other way, one way I will not advise you to start off is through debt. Maybe, I don't know, for things like land, people might find a way to work around debt to invest into land. But for things like stocks, which are exposed to such high risk and very erratic cycles, you really do not want to walk into a bank and take a loan and invest, and then you find instead you are investing with the hope of making a capital gain, and the reverse happens. So essentially, you borrowed 500,000, and instead the market going into your favor goes the other way, and you get, by the time you're looking at your portfolio, it's almost at 200,000, and when you sell, you see you're going to swallow that loss. So I'd say debt is a bit risky for some of these products. For something like land, debt might work. Yeah. But for other products, debt is really not advisable.
It's
So
very
I'd say
risky.
budget through your budgeting, through your savings. You can even pool funds together, because you know at times you want to invest a large amount of money, but by the time you as an individual you actually get that money, it'll take you a very long time, and maybe that opportunity will also have gone. Because one thing that also people usually don't understand is luck plays a role in investments. It really plays a role, because one day maybe you just got in at the right time and exited at the right time, and
Comes the right time.
yes, you make a very good return. So I'd say pool funds if need be, whatever savings you have, whatever you can just get from your budget. Those are different avenues that you can use to invest.
Actually I've seen some groups that have not just been there for chama purposes for merry-go-rounds. They are actually chamas that have a sole purpose of investing. Like I remember I saw in the news some time back about some Boda guy
actually from Rongai.
Was he from Rongai?
No, there's some
My
from
county.
Rongai.
I don't know if they were from Nanyuki. I don't know. I think they were.
But they're
from
different.
Nanyuki or something.
There's so
There's so many
people.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Like they came together and they're Boda guys. They have a pool of funds and it was just for investments. And they built some property, some decent property. Where they now all have their own plots.
That's interesting.
And they build, so it's really possible. Now as we wrap up, I know investments, it's such a broad topic and we can't finish it in one sitting. So we'll go deeper into some of those say investment options so that people can learn more. What are bonds? Some people don't even know what those things are. Or commercial, so another one called commercial papers. I'm like, there are commercial papers. What are commercial papers? So we also need to know what these options are and how can we start, or how long does it take? How much money do we need? All those information. So we'll go deeper into the topics one by one. And if you have any questions on investment or personal growth, as we always say, just feel free to ask on the comment section so that we are able to also answer you as we go along. So Mercy also is a trainer, as I told you, and a consultant. And she will tell you more about the classes that she normally holds. If you also need a really personalized experience in terms of investment, this is the right person to come to. So she will explain more about the classes. So if you're interested, you can contact her.
We'll put the contacts in the down below.
So tell us more about the classes.
So we usually run a monthly 3-week program as a Trading Room Kenya, where people sign up and there's a fee attached to it. It's usually 3,500, but there are discounts that are given as the weeks progress. So through the class we cover stocks, we cover SACCOs, we cover personal finance itself, and also some aspect of mutual funds and whatnot. So once you sign up for the class and you make the payment, this is usually an online class. We are living in a very digital era, so the class is usually run through social media platforms, and we also have sessions where we do live video streaming for the participants of the class. It would be great to have some of you join in. And as she said, we are going to have the details down below. So you can just check, and I'll also just share an email address. If you have any questions and queries, please feel free to get in touch. Do not be afraid to ask any questions. I think we all learn from asking. And we'll see how we can help in whatever way possible.
And so we'd like to know what you've learned from our video today, and if you have anything to share with us, please comment down below in the comment section. And don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe, and to just spread the word about this channel, because this channel is here to support each other and to bring positivity and to educate people on different personal growth and development.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, dreamers.
Bye, dreamers, and see you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.